GM fam, it's Daito here with an update on my Diablo 4 Necromancer. So, in the last video I made, I think we were clearing a tier 52 nightmare dungeon. I was level 80 at the time, and I was using these gloves here, the Howl from below, which are very powerful, unique gloves for a corpse explosion Necromancer. But what happened since then, and what you see in that gameplay video here, is a level 60 tier nightmare dungeon clear. I think I'm level 81 or 82 at the time, so I'm recording this particular video a little bit later. But for the most part, the only thing that changed gear-wise was that I got this bad boy. So the Black River unique scythe for necromancers. You can see in the special tooltip, it makes corpse explosion consume up to 4 additional corpses around the initial corpse, and then deals increased damage with a larger radius. So once you get Black River, for speed runs, you can then swap out your ancestral unique gloves and then use a regular pair of gloves, and then maintain all of the other aspects that I went over in the previous build. So you can see when you bring in, a standard set of gloves, the stats you really want to look for are critical strike chance, lucky hit chance, and then ideally something like all stats and something like intelligence. So you can see in this particular set of gloves, I still haven't re-rolled that shadow damage over time into something like all stats. But that's what I'll probably do as soon as I find a focus that allows me to get the dream set of stats. So on a focus, I'm looking for cooldown reduction, lucky hit chance, crit chance, and then that damage reduction from enemies affected by damage over time. So here you can see I'm wanting to swap out the all stats on my focus for crit chance, and then once I lose those all stats here, I'm going to make up for those all stats on my gloves. Why do all stats matter? Again, it all comes down to the Paragon board. So you can see I've unlocked finally this 4th Paragon board, and then you can see that the stat requirements for some of these nodes start getting pretty hefty. So here, the bonus for another 15% critical strike damage requires 450 willpower. If I didn't have that plus 27 all stats, then I wouldn't make that threshold. And same over here, I believe. There's a rare node, for example, that requires 430 dexterity that we're going to get eventually. Not going to get there without all stats. And then same here, even this Death Mark node that we'll get very soon requires a hefty amount of willpower. Other than that, the other thing that I changed on my Paragon board since the last video I made was I swapped out the territorial glyph. So I was running with, this for a while to increase damage against close targets, but for more importantly, I was interested in that 10% damage reduction. Honestly, I felt like this build is so beefy, and the uptime on Bone Storm and Blood Mist are so good when the packs are thick. We could really do a little bit more damage, especially in those single target scenarios where we're dealing with a boss that doesn't drop a lot of corpses. So I decided to go with Exploit. This is a great glyph to have in this first board because it benefits off of dexterity, and there's like 7 or 8 dexterity nodes around this first socket. So I'm running with Exploit instead. I think, like I mentioned before, this darkness glyph, which I really like, that benefits off of willpower, I'm eventually going to move to this socket because there are a lot more willpower nodes around this socket as opposed to this one. And then so once I move darkness over here, I'm going to throw, where is it? This scourge glyph, which is another willpower glyph, into this spot where darkness is right now. Other than that, that's all that's really changed. Yeah. I'm looking forward to updating a couple of pieces of gear, especially my pants here instead of maximum life. I think I mentioned I want some more damage reduction. I think my glyphs, my rings are in a really good spot. I finally got the dream on this ring. It's got crit chance, vulnerable damage, lucky hit, and critical strike damage. And yeah, it's feeling good. The build is really nice. I haven't pushed into a tier 70 nightmare dungeon yet, but I'm going to try one of those pretty soon. But right now, since the last update from the patch that they just released that included some, quality of life changes in terms of what was it, being able to port to dungeons, and then, the increased XP that we get from nightmare dungeons, I'm pretty much running like mid 50 tier dungeons as quickly as possible. I usually knock out, at least 3 within the time span of a single potion that I drink. So that's about 10 minutes per run, as you can kind of see even in this tier 60 video that you're watching right now. We cleared it in 10 minutes. So this build is really great, and it's the one that I'm hoping to use to eventually clear a tier 100 dungeon, either solo or with a couple of friends. And I'll probably make another video once I push into the tier 80 nightmare dungeons. But until then, good luck and have fun with your characters, and we'll catch you next time.